What the fuck is up, chat? Welcome back to another episode of Wenches and Wizards. And today we have the most special guest, as in real special.
Special ed.
Yeah.
Very excited.
My freaking dad. Everybody say hello to Wad.
Hello, everyone. All right. Thank you. I am Max's much more attractive dad. It's
More
nice to meet
attractive
you.
than who?
All of you.
Oh, okay.
That's horrible.
Caleb finds him much more funny than the average person.
He's funny.
I am funny.
You're inflating his ego too much.
Can't get inflated anymore.
Hell yeah.
My ego's fucking huge. Where's the cheer? I need cheering with that, man. What's wrong with you guys?
Deb can't hear the cheering.
No, I don't have.
He doesn't have headphones in.
I don't have headphones. It's okay.
Sorry.
But today is WrestleMania Saturday.
WrestleMania 2026.
Yes, I figured Dad would get his feelings hurt if we went much longer without giving him an interview.
Well, I don't see how your podcast gets any more popular without me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
I have a face for podcasts.
You
Wait,
sure do.
wait, what is that? Never mind.
You're doing great.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thanks. So,
And
what
I
are
figured
we
we-
going to talk about?
I figured we'd talk WWE today. We've been talking about it since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as any of y'all may know, I literally posted it on the Instagram. I'm pretty into wrestling and WWE, but compared to my dad, my delectable little toe has barely touched the waters of wrestling. Nothing to say.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Delectable.
You're obsessed with my feet.
I'm literally not. You bring it up every time.
I literally don't.
Yeah, you do.
You're trying to gaslight me.
There are certain things you don't need to say in front of your dad.
Dad, Max is bullying me.
Well, I'm sorry that she's a piece of shit.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I learned it from the best.
Yep.
Oh! Oh, shit. That was
Yeah.
real, bro.
Oh, so you can do that, but I can't.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's right. There are some things that the parents are allowed to do that the kids just can't do. That's just how shit goes.
Guess so.
Especially in Texas, where the laws here are really slanted toward the parents.
Yeah. Especially specific parents.
Yep.
Anyway, how I got into wrestling was weekends at Dad's house. We would all get together and sit on the couch and we'd watch old wrestling tapes.
Yep.
And then we
VHS
would
and some Blu-ray.
We would immediately proceed to try everything at home.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I wouldn't
Especially
be a
with the
quality
tax.
dad if I hadn't power bombed each and every one of you into the pool or the bed or,
Yeah.
something. Or the couch.
The concrete, the driveway.
Not till you got older.
Yeah.
I waited till y'all were 7 or 8 before I power bombed you onto concrete.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It didn't have any effect on your mental ability at all.
My what?
What?
My braining is so good. It's crazy.
It is.
Wait.
Yeah, you don't have any of the Dane Bramages at all. You know the people can't see you. They can't see y'all's faces. They can't laugh with you.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Max.
I didn't mean to do that. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway, wrestling
God.
tapes from the time we were children.
The stupid with you two, it burns.
Yeah.
That's why you have like 1 million followers.
Yeah.
Obviously.
2
Clearly.
million, actually.
Clearly.
3 trillion.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got into it because of wrestling tapes at home. Dad, what got you into wrestling?
So I grew up in Dallas, and there was a small wrestling organization in Dallas. And so they would bring their presentation on Saturday nights at like midnight.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what channel. And so the guy that owned it was a guy named Fritz von Erich. He was a wrestler in the 50s and the 60s. He was a heel, a bad guy. And at the time, he was like as hardcore as those guys got it. I mean, wrestling back then was fairly generic, right?
Well, you said Terry or Kevin?
Fritz.
Fritz.
I'm talking about Fritz right now. So Fritz.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like a super German name.
Yeah. And he presented himself as a German Nazi.
Holy shit!
And that was part of
Wait,
his.
he did?
Yes, and
that was like his heel, or
that was
whatever?
part of his bit.
in the
And
50s.
yes,
Oh my god!
and he had death threats and people slashing his
bet.
tires. I mean, but he
I wasn't aware
generated.
of that.
But he generated a lot of heat, and a bout of bad feelings. And that's really, as a wrestler, that's what you want. You want them to hate you, or you want them to love you. You don't want them to be disinterested, right? That's the worst. So as I said, Fritz's character was a Nazi.
Yeah.
But he was, one of the more popular wrestlers as far as making money. Whenever he showed up, people came to boo him and everything. And he parlayed that into opening a wrestling organization here in Dallas off of 35 and Industrial. They had basically a barn called the Sportatorium. And they had the ring, and basically 5 rows of folding chairs, and that was it.
Wow.
And it was a really popular place to go to on Friday nights, or I guess Saturday nights.
Yeah, one of your good childhood friends revealed recently that he went to a sportatorium
Actually
show, right?
went to a show with the Von Erichs there. And so once Fritz's kids started wrestling, then it went through the roof. So Fritz had 6 boys.
That's too many boys.
And
this is the guys the Iron Claw movie is based off.
yes, this is
right?
what the
Yeah.
Iron Claw movie is based
Chad,
on.
if you want like a similar but not entirely accurate story of what my dad's talking about, go watch the Iron Claw. It's a really good movie that you can really only watch once.
Right.
And why is that, Dad?
Because it's sad, man. It's rough. So the boys became very popular. They were at the right age. They had the long hair. They were all pretty ripped. The girls
That's putting it mildly.
The girls went crazy for them. But to be honest with you, tragedy struck the Von Erich family even before that.
Oh.
Because, as I said, there were 6 boys. 6. By the time I came around and was aware of the Von Erichs, there were 5.
Oh man.
The oldest one, Jack, was 11 years old when he died. He was walking home from school, and they lived in a trailer park at the time. And back then, those trailers were made of aluminum. And he touched one of them on his way home, and there was some sort of electrical short, and it electrocuted him.
Like, I think I read that a power line was dangling from where it was supposed to be and like on the trailer or in a puddle or something.
So it grounded out through him.
Yeah, it grounded out
geez.
through him. And then he fell down, and it had been snowing or whatever, and there was a puddle, and he fell in the puddle and drowned. So at
It's
11,
a horrible way to go.
Kevin's even talked about, I was a little brher, and then all of a sudden,
Now you're
I'm the older brother.
Mm-hmm. Big shoes to fill too.
Yeah. But these were, the older 3 were great athletes. They won a state championship in football in 2A or something like that. Kerry was supposed to go to the Olympics.
He was in like discus or something, right?
To throw discus in the Olympics in 1980, and we ended up boycotting the Olympics in 1980.
Those darn commies.
Damn commies. So the oldest 3, Kevin, the oldest, David, Kerry, they were built to be wrestlers. I mean, Kevin was the smallest of them at 6'2" and 220. Kerry's like 6'3" and all of 240. And
which one did Zac Efron play?
Kevin.
Kevin.
So the movie kind of got it a little bit backwards. Kerry looked much, much more like Zac Efron than he did Jeremy Allen White.
Right.
Oh yeah, Kerry was stacked. And then
Big guy.
Like,
there was David. David was the one. David was like 6'7" and 250 pounds and had the long hair and was good on the mic, because the other 2 were not good on the mic. Kevin especially was not very good on the mic.
Kerry's the one on the bottom right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right? And this is
Big
like
one.
the 80s?
Yeah.
Big boys.
So people looked at David as he was going to be a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
And to be a world champion then it was even different than what it is today.
It meant something. It was part of the story, but it also really actually meant something.
Well, so David was the star. He was big and athletic and good looking and could talk on the mic way better than anybody else. And he was really, as far as the presentation goes, the leader.
He was the pretty blonde one in the movie, right?
He was the tall one, the tallest one. So everything's going great. They even brought in some villains to match them. The fabulous Freebirds, Michael P.S.A.'s, we'll talk about him, Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts. And they were one of the first to do the infamous heel turn. Because the Freebirds were friends with them at first, and there's a heel turn, and then became enemies. And they probably spent 3 years feuding and made gobs of money just on those those 6 guys feuding. So, a little influential there. And then more tragedy. David goes to Japan to wrestle. Wrestling is huge in Japan. They made lots of money whenever they went over to Japan, so they would take trips over there all the time. Apparently he got kicked or something happened. He had some internal bleeding, and he bled out in his hotel room in Japan at like 25 years old, something like that.
Jesus,
he was
man.
just a baby. He was going to be a star.
Yeah.
Now there's just the 2 of them that are wrestling right now, Kerry and Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them were taking pain meds all the time. They had to. It's a rough business. And if you don't wrestle, you don't get paid.
Carrie was a drinker.
Kerry was a drinker. He liked to party. He liked to live life.
What happened to Carrie, Dad?
Well, Kerry went out drinking and had some pain meds and everything, and he was in a motorcycle accident, and he tore up one of his legs, and tore it up to the point he had to have it amputated below the knee.
Whoa.
He wrestled the majority of his career on one leg. He wore these big boots that came all the way up to the knee, in between the
was
boots
not
and the
known to
knee
the public.
pads. And nobody knew. I didn't know. The public didn't know.
If you go back and watch tapes, you can't tell.
Yeah, other wrestlers didn't know. And he's doing all this stuff.
So the boot would cover up the prosthetic leg because he
Yes.
had like thigh-high boots or whatever?
Yes, he had boots that came all the way up to his knee. Then he had like knee pads that
Knee
came
pads,
up.
yeah.
So basically, his
And
legs
like
were covered
stiffness
all
of
the way
boots
up.
probably helped cover up
Right.
the movement.
They walked a little
He
weird,
was
yeah.
doing drop kicks and off the third rope and spinning stuff. And he was, like I said, he was a great athlete. All on one leg. Nobody knew.
That's crazy.
He hated
They
himself.
built this organization to the point that they held a wrestling thing like a WrestleMania at Texas Stadium and sold 42,000 seats.
What year about
This was like 86 or 87 when
Wow.
they did this. And at that time, Kerry Von Erich actually beat the Nature Boy Ric Flair in front of 42,000 people and
Whoa.
became the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And what I was going to tell you before is the way wrestling worked back then is there were all these little territories. WCCW, Dallas had little North Texas. There was one in Florida. There was one around North Carolina. There was one in New York, one in Chicago.
So
right?
it's very regional.
It's very regional. And they all got on TV at a regional level.
Mhm.
WCW, or is that the 90s?
That's later. So, you had some stars that would quit here and go here and quit here, but for the most part, you had their mainstays. You had the Von Erichs here, and then all these guys formed like an alliance. They called the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, that had a world heavyweight champion.
Like the NFL.
Kind of. He says the job of the world heavyweight champion was to travel from territory to territory, and they would put the belt on someone they thought would bring in money.
Right.
Harley Race was that guy for a long time. Ric Flair was that guy for a long time. David
Very
Von
long
Erich
time.
was going to be that guy.
And then he passed away.
And
in
then he
Japan.
passed
Yeah.
away. And then they put the belt on Kerry because Kerry had the look.
And he had the one leg.
They didn't know about that.
Right. They didn't know. But
Kerry had the look.
was
Kerry
this?
had
This
the-
was after the.
This
He was
after.
okay on the mic.
He was okay
He
on
was
the
not
mic, but he
dated,
wasn't
but-
dated.
But he
so-
had the family name.
But
the family name, the look, the performance. He was a stupid good athlete.
Yeah, but they took the belt off of him pretty fast because he was addicted to painkillers. And he was having trouble meeting the commitments. And one of the things about Ric Flair is no matter how much he drank and no matter how many girls he banged, he showed up, he showed out. Every wrestling match for Ric Flair was awesome.
He came,
Right.
he did his job, he
And
left.
he made lots of money. And he was one of those guys that you just put his name on the bill
And it sells out.
and it sells out. Him and Ric Flair and Andre the Giant were two people that you put that name on the bill and it sells out.
We could do a whole episode about Andre the Giant.
For sure. So that takes me to, kind of where we went today. Before I get to where we go today, let's talk about how influential this little organization was. If you look at how wrestling is presented, even right now as we're watching WrestleMania, they have a platoon of guys around the ring with cameras. And they get right up in their faces and they show their facial expressions and they do all that and they try to tell a story with each wrestling match.
It's a show.
Even during the match. Before WCCW, what you had was this big expensive camera up in the crowd that had a look down at the ring from far away.
Like a boxing match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you got.
Right.
And it happened by accident. The guys at WCCW couldn't afford that camera. So they went and bought a bunch of little ones. And they were the first one to present wrestling like that. They were the first ones to be up in their faces, to show facial expressions. They were the first ones to drop the camera angle down so that when the wrestler comes off the top rope or comes off the edge, you would see him coming down. It looks crazy, right? They were the first ones to do that. The Freebirds were the first wrestlers ever to use music as an entrance. They played the Freebirds, the Freebird from
Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner. That was their entrance music. And then the Von Erichs copied it. Kevin came down to Stranglehold, and Kerry came down to what's that? That song by Rush, the Modern Day Warrior.
Oh.
That was Kevin's moniker.
Yeah.
He was the Modern Day Warrior.
Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer. That's
Yeah.
it.
Good
He
song.
came down to Tom Sawyer, and after that, Ric Flair starts coming down to the song from 2001, and everybody's got
A walkout song.
a walkout song.
Ooh, Dad, if you were a wrestler, what would your walkout song be?
I don't know. I
You
have
know
to
what
think about that.
Oh, it would be Still by Ghetto Boys, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
What would yours be, Max?
Something by Taylor Swift.
Yikes.
Probably either Opana by Suicide Boys or Loud Love by Soundgarden. That beginning riff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What about you, Caleb?
Oh, thank
Were you
you.
waiting?
Thank you for asking. Gosh.
Karma Chameleon by.
It's toss up. No.
Tub Thumping by
No,
Chumbawamba.
Ooh.
Nah.
That's nice.
Mine would either be like
Raspberry
something
Beret.
something awesome like freaking like To Build a Mountain by Crowbar,
Okay.
or like Big Bang
Down with the
by
sickness.
Juicy J. Like Big Bang, take a little back. Yeah. I love Juicy J.
He would actually walk out to Alphabet Aerobics by Black Alicious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would too.
Ah, shit.
I'd actually just
Casey
walk
won.
out to the Yes King audio.
Ooh.
Let's get back on track.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, my bad.
I
Dad.
warned you, by the
I know.
way.
Sorry,
I know.
Dad.
It's okay. I'm working hard to get distracted by your faces. Anyway,
Not as bad as your hairline, Dad.
it's pretty rough. So they started with music. I mentioned earlier they were one of the first ones to do a real heel turn.
Yeah.
Right, like the
They-
storyline of like
Yeah.
Speed up the story a
betrayal.
little bit.
Okay. Someone named Shawn Michaels got his start there. Stone Cold Steve Austin
I
was.
think I'm the only person who knows Shawn Michaels.
I know the name, but I don't know like
Well, we can talk about Shawn
that's
Michaels
the guy
later.
who like comes out, right?
Stone Cold Steve Austin was discovered in the crowd at WCCW and taken to.
It'd be really hard not to notice him. He's a big fuck off dude. His neck is bigger than his head.
It is, and he had long blonde hair at the time and everything.
What they call him, Mean Steve or something?
They called him Stunning Steve Austin.
Oh, Undertaker was Mean Mark.
Undertaker. This was before Mean Mark, so Undertaker got a start at WCCW.
Mm-hmm.
He played
Dallas.
in Dallas.
He's from Texas.
He played a character named Omega Red. He wore a mask, and
Like somebody else we know.
He was a guy that the big time people would just beat up to, put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
His manager was a guy named Percival Pringle III, who you know as Paul Bearer, manager of The Undertaker. Wrestling fans know, not you,
Paul
Caleb.
Bearer.
I don't know who that
That's
is.
his name.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I didn't watch wrestling.
I think you should dress up and look more like Paul Bearer. Let me pull him
Yeah.
up anyway.
Is this insulting or should I?
actually, he should look like Percival Pringle III. I think he would look good in one of those.
I'm just
coats.
saying, like, yeah. I remember, like, in elementary
Wait,
school,
this would be
people
such
wear.
a good Halloween costume
people-
for you.
What the fuck, dude? That guy looks like he's on the Epstein list.
Whoa! Don't do that to Paul Bearer.
He does. Tell me I'm wrong.
Look up Percival Pringle
See,
III.
Cole agrees. That's the opinion I care about right now.
Also, you gotta superimpose these pictures that I'm referencing.
Oh, dude,
now.
I'm not gonna remember that.
Mick Foley took a swim.
Yeah, that's
It just
Cactus
pulls up
Jack, right?
Oh wow!
Mick Foley.
Oh
Cactus
wow!
Jack.
Cactus Jack. Cactus
Right.
Jack for Mankind from WWE. He
Yeah.
got thrown off the top of
Yeah.
that guy. He took a swim through there. So a lot of people
Got started through WCCW.
Yeah. So Kerry was big into his body. Loved his body, worked out.
He had very bad
was
body
very vain.
dysmorphia.
And between the drug addiction, between his career starting to fail because of the drugs and everything,
The loss of his leg
He-
also added to it.
he shot himself in the heart with a pistol, with a
Jesus.
44. Then there are the next two, Chris and Mike. Mike was the older of the two. Mike was not built to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Mike was 6 feet, maybe 6'1", but
He
only
was-
about $180.
He was the
So
musician.
he's a lot smaller.
Yeah. I
don't
think
know if that was true in real life, but in the
I don't
movie,
know if that was true in real life. I don't know. I think for the Mike in the movie,
like
I
he
think
didn't really want to wrestle.
I don't think he didn't seem like he wanted to wrestle. He was not athletic enough. He was not big enough. He was
wasn't
out
very good
there.
on the mic.
No, he was out there with some beasts that were in WCCW at the time. He ended up breaking his arm in the ring,
Quickly.
Damn.
and he had some complications with it. He got some sort of infection. He ended up, and it was very clear he was never going to be a successful wrestler. He also killed himself with a shotgun.
Damn.
And then there's the youngest one, Chris. Chris was never going to be a wrestler.
I think they left Chris out of the movie because one, it would be too sad, and two, people wouldn't believe that this many things happened to one
Yeah.
family.
I mean, how do you make this up, right? So Chris is like 5'7"
Small
and
guy.
$120, and
Yeah, about your height,
full
Caleb.
grown. And he was never going to be a wrestler. I mean, he was going to get he was going to get killed out
Yeah.
there. And he looked up to his brothers. He looked up to Terry and David and Kevin, and here are these huge men doing what he really wanted to do. He wanted to be nothing but a wrestler. That was the only thing he ever wanted to do, and it was never, ever
Wasn't in the cards.
going to happen. Not at his size. He would get killed. He also found a shotgun and went out in the
Jesus
woods.
Christ.
Kevin is the only one left. Kevin is still alive.
He's got sons wrestling now.
He has two sons, Marshall.
Are they in the WWE?
They are not. They
I think they're with AEW.
they are independents.
Okay.
They are on the independent circuit, so they do make rounds through AEW. I've seen them do that, but I think they like being on the independent circuit. But they're very successful. They still have they still use the name Von Erich. Von Erich's not actually their actual last
It's their
name.
stage name.
It's Atkinson is their last name, but they still use that name. Kevin's still alive. Kevin and the whole Von Erich family is in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, if you look at even today, the influence that organization had, Michael P.S. Hayes, one of the Freebirds, is part of the creative group for WWE today, even now.
Wow, so they were really like pioneers of the scene.
Oh, yeah. In fact, Michael P.S. Hayes invented and taught the Stone Cold Stunner to Steve Austin.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
man.
so,
Yeah, since we're talking about things that heavily influenced wrestling, can we talk about one of my favorite things, which is the ECW?
absolutely.
So
what is the ECW? For
it's the
people who don't know?
Eastern Championship
It
Wrestling.
started off-
I don't know any of this.
Yeah. It started off Eastern Championship Wrestling, but and we need to get there, though. I mean,
We're already at 30
No,
minutes.
it's all good.
okay. So,
We're at 27. Max is being hyperbole.
I know.
Hyperbolic is the proper word.
Wrestling in the 90s, of course, you had Hulkamania, you had Hulk Hogan, you had all that stuff
Sorry.
going on for years and
Something in
years
my
and years.
throat.
Involuntary reaction.
Jump scare.
Paul Heyman is a guy who came into wrestling at 14. He found his way in. He became a manager. He was one of the managers. He has a big mouth. He talks a lot. And a lot of times what they'll do in wrestling is if I've got this wrestler, he's a good wrestler, but he's not good on the mic, I will pair him with a manager. And the manager will do the talking, right? And he can do the wrestling.
And Paul Heyman is that guy. Everybody knows this guy. Caleb is kind of this guy, but not quite. The guy who can talk himself into anything. And talk his way out of anything.
What do they say in Shoresy? He could step on a landmine and talk his way out of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He is
But he's
insanely charismatic, and
Yeah.
he is very smart, very articulate.
He is a creative genius.
Yes.
In wrestling, he is considered a creative savant.
Was he writing a bunch of storylines for
Oh,
people
yeah.
and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that?
he was writing, and then of course, if they didn't like his storyline, then he's going to tell you about it. Buck, 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 buck. He's from New York, and so he has it in his mind that all of his storylines are awesome.
And they are, pretty much.
So he got fired from a bunch of places and everything.
He's
in
a
the
very
90s,
big personality.
In the 90s, wrestling got kind of weird, right? Because in WWE,
At
Vince
the time,
McMahon,
WWF.
yeah, at the time, WWF was looking for characters, and they're looking for their next superheroes. They're looking for characters. Their plan to make money was to engage the kids, and knowing that the kids will bring their parents along and pay for
The
everything.
ones with
right?
the money.
So it's like all of their ring people had like second jobs. You had a guy who was a repo man. You had a guy who was a plumber. You had a guy who was a dentist. You had a clown. You had
Dentist is crazy.
You had Doink the clown.
And then you have a son of a plumber.
Yeah, and so that was weird. And then WCCW is kind of always weird. And Paul Heyman hated all of it. He hated all of it. And then he got hooked up somehow with this little wrestling organization from the East in Philadelphia called Eastern Championship Wrestling.
I'm related.
and
Seth
that's
Rollins looks
that's the
ridiculous
ECW?
right now.
That's ECW. Paul Heyman got there, and they have all these people there, and he starts. He's head of creative, and they decide at some point. He decides, well, I'm not doing what WWF is doing, and
Paul Heyman starts making things incredibly hardcore.
They start getting more hardcore and more hardcore. Now it's tables. Now it's ladders.
Beating
it's
each other
kendo
with
sticks.
what, like fluorescent light bulbs?
Fluorescent
Tacks,
light bulbs.
Thumbtacks.
It's at every match. It's like the guys in the organization are like, well, they did this, and now we've got to top it.
Yeah.
And everything is the next level, the next level, the next level, and it's blood and guts, man. It's taking off the ropes and replacing it with barbed wire.
That's crazy.
It's jumping off the mezzanine.
Those guys were up to date on their tetanus shots.
And they're not making money.
No.
And,
they're all doing it because they have faith in Heyman.
They're all doing it for Heyman. And so most of the time, he can't even pay them.
Damn.
And they're working on injuries. Like they've got a fracture. They've got like a bone, like a deep bruise,
but
like a blood bruise. They've got sprains. Like they're working through it. You know,
So-
That's not sustainable.
You're right. And then
Except-
the thing that really makes it not sustainable from a money point of view is that all the blood and all the guts, while the people love it, especially because they were based in Philadelphia, so those guys are going
Nut
to eat it
jobs,
up.
God love them. Shout out Philly.
Yeah. The advertisers were scared of it.
They didn't want nothing to do with it. Yeah.
No. So it's hard for them to get advertising. It's hard for them to get TV time that's not at 2 a.m.
Right.
Right. And so these guys are putting on amazing matches and amazing shows, and they are doing things that WWE and WCW would never dream of.
They're outselling WWF at this point, and Paul Heyman's office is just a bench in the locker room.
Right. And
Just
Vince-
they weren't making any money off tickets. It was just to cover the venue.
Yes.
And so when you look at WWE now and you see Hell in a Cell, you see ladders, and you see the tables, the ladder match they had with Cody and stuff like that, all that stuff,
And Undertaker throwing Mick Foley through the roof or
all
whatever.
that stuff
That's all ECW
came
stuff.
from ECW.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And Vince McMahon, who's the owner of WWF at the time, was
Yeah.
a big proponent of ECW. There was a point in time where they were out of money, and Paul was talking to Vince, and Vince was like, "Well, what can I do to help you?" And he's like, "Well, you can write me a check for $500,000." And then Vince did it.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah. But see, Vince looked at ECW as like their college football. Like he looked at, this is a place I can go and get characters.
He can go get his stars from there.
Yeah. This was a place where wrestlers went to become good wrestlers.
So it was
Paul
like
Heyman-
a minor league farm team.
Well, that's
Yes.
how Vince saw them.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman was so good at taking this raw material and turning it into something worthy of a star.
Turning lead into gold, you could say.
Steve Austin was stunning Steve Austin, and he came out at the time with the long blonde hair and the robes and all that stuff. He went to ECW and he started ending all of his promos with, "And that's the bottom line." Well, by the time he makes it to WWE,
F.
quickly becomes Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he starts ending everything. That's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so. He honed himself as to Stone Cold Steve Austin
Yeah.
at ECW. Mick Foley,
Mankind.
Mankind,
Right.
was at ECW, and he molded himself. He became a character. He found that character in ECW, and then of course got called up.
God love Mick Foley, but he is fucking nuts.
He is.
You kind of have to be to do that profession, to be honest with you. It's like,
You
Oh, yeah.
saw that. You
It's
saw that Hell in a
completely
Cell
insane.
match.
yeah, I did. That was insanity.
Like
So the-
every time him and Undertaker were within 2 feet of each other, Undertaker was like, "Dude, please tap. Dude, please tap."
Yeah, he that particular match, he said he kept telling him to stop. Just stay down, man. Just please stay down. And he wouldn't.
Like there's a certain point in the match, and you can see the exact moment it happens. He sustains a second concussion,
and he just
he's
doesn't know where
blacked
he
out
is.
for the
yeah.
rest of the night. Like he's
Yeah.
still operating.
Just
he's
punch
still,
drunk. Yeah.
Nobody's operating the machine.
Yeah.
He's operating on autopilot.
Yeah, and that's even before he brought out the tax.
And he's the one who brought out the tax. He's the one who brought out
Yep.
the tax.
He wanted to bring out the tax. He brought out
Thumbtacks?
yes.
Yes,
he brought out
went under
a sack
the ring and
and
brought out a
like
sack,
10,000
And rolled them
metal
onto the canvas.
thumbtacks.
like
and
push
spread them
pins,
out.
like this big actually.
Golly.
And then he got thrown through
On
the
top
top
of
of the
them, like,
cage into the
twice.
thumbtacks.
He got thrown onto them twice.
So, all that, the stuff that you see today, the extreme stuff, them jumping over, all that came from ECW. They didn't do that in
They
WWE.
pushed the limits.
and hitting
Yeah.
each other with chairs.
Hitting
and
another
stuff
with
like
chairs.
the
and,
chair
and
incident.
all the, to be honest with you, all the athletic stuff that you see today. I mean, the athletes in
The
WWE
high-flying
today,
stuff.
yeah, came from ECW. They were doing that in ECW, and they were not doing that anywhere else.
I think part of that also came from luchadors, but I don't know enough about luchadors.
There are some
to add on to
luchadors that were in ECW, and other wrestlers at ECW saw that and was like,
That's cool.
I could do that too.
Yeah.
And so ECW, again, being still very small, was incredibly influential. They really changed wrestling from being a cartoon, a complete and utter cartoon, to what it is today, where the best wrestlers, like where the two of them we're watching right now, are two of the best you'll ever see.
Gunter's not that good.
Gunter is that good.
Gunter,
The thing that makes
Gunter
Gunter that
doesn't
good,
impress me.
dude,
He's a
freaking
blank
tall
slate.
though.
the thing that makes Gunter good is when you watch him wrestle, you forget that it's scripted. He hits them so hard. He hits his spots so well. He sells so well.
He does sell
He gives
good.
you that suspension of
He's just not
disbelief.
showy enough for me.
He's not showy.
Like he does add to the verisimilitude of it.
Yeah, but again,
Big words.
when he's wrestling, you forget
Gunshots.
that you're watching something that's scripted. Yeah.
So my main question for you is, what got you into wrestling? Where is it just like when
we
you were
already
a
discussed
kid?
this. It was the Von Erichs.
Just
Yeah.
that's what like
He
you
lives
went.
down the street from
Did
the
you go to the
Sportatorium.
show? Like, did you watch
No,
that
I
on
never got to-
TV? Or
I never got to go on a show until just a few weeks ago, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
I caught it
Smackdown.
on some channel, some minor
Local
channel
TV.
as a kid, and it just made sense to me.
What little boy doesn't love to watch a fight?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I remember who it was that was wrestling.
Who was it?
It was a guy named Bruiser Brody.
You've told me about him.
Yeah, he's a lunatic. 6'8", 300 pounds of Bruiser Brody. Big white dude with a big afro and a big bushy beard. He just looked like he came from the woods. And he just had the look in his eye like he was going to kill you and
I can see
cannibalize
why
your
you
body.
like Jacob Fatu so much.
Wow.
Similar vibes.
That's a big guy. Yeah.
I
And
was 6'8".
yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome to watch. And then it just, and I always was kind of pulled to the heels,
It's fun to
I
cheer
liked
for
Ric
a bad
Flair.
guy sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Ric Flair was awesome. There was Hulkamania for many years,
wants
of
to be
course.
the ladies' man.
And Hulkamania was very popular. And probably Hulk Hogan had probably the greatest moment. He probably had two of the greatest moments in wrestling history.
Elaborate.
WrestleMania 3, where he body slammed Andre the Giant and pinned him. Andre hadn't been beaten, I think, in 15 years at that time.
Really?
Yeah. And then when he, after all these years of being the real American, the Hulk Hogan, the eat, drink your milk, eat your vitamins, blah, 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 he turned heel and became the king of the bad guys. And those two moments were seminal moments in wrestling. Whether you like Hulk Hogan as a person or not, the
Shitty
truth
person,
is,
but cool character.
the truth is, he had great moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue with that.
I do want to circle back just one more time to the early days of WWF and things
Okay.
that heavily impacted the industry. We want to talk about the bloodline now.
The bloodline. Okay. So in WWE, there is a family, the Anoa'i family. They're Samoan family.
Mhm.
And they have been in the WWE. There's been somebody in the WWE since the 50s. It's like their great grandmother or something like that was a booker, one of the creative people in the 50s. And over the years, there's just always
It's a
been somebody.
matriarch.
Just a huge legacy.
It's a huge legacy. There was, for a long time, there was a tag team called the Wild Samoans. Sika and it'll come to me. They're part of the bloodline. Sika is Roman Reigns' father.
Mhm.
The other one.
The other one is the grandfather or the father. Definitely not the father. He's the grandfather of the Usos, who we just saw wrestle. As you go through the history of WWE, you'll find those two guys. You'll find The Rock. is one of them. You'll find there's a wrestler that was in the 90s named Umaga, who looks exactly like Jacob Fatu.
There's also
Um,
Rikishi.
Rikishi is one of them.
Rikishi is the
Rik-
Usos' dad, right?
Rikishi is the Usos' dad.
Yeah, I know who Rikishi is.
You remember that
Fattest
butt, right?
ass
That
in
butt
all
is
the
that butt
universe.
is hard to forget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yokozuna was the world champion for a long time, and he's 500 pounds, and he's part of the Inoue family. And then now, of course, there's
You've got Naomi too.
Naomi's in there by
Not to be confused with Caleb's wife.
Yeah,
Chat.
Naomi the wrestler.
Naomi the wrestler. Yeah,
Yeah.
And you were saying something about the one chick. She's in the bloodline too. That was just
Nia.
wrestling.
Nia
Nia
is also
Naya,
part of
yeah.
Nia's
Nia,
ex is
and
She's like
then-
a first cousin to The Rock, right?
something like that. Yeah, and
What about CM Punk's wife?
AJ Lee.
yeah,
Is
she's
she in the
definitely
bloodline?
not Samoa.
She's not in
No?
the bloodline.
Oh, I don't
No.
know.
Jacob Fatu is one of them.
Yeah, that's your
Um,
favorite right now,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. He
Whenever I'm
does-
introducing people to The Rock and I start telling them, whenever I start introducing people to wrestling and I want to be able to like explain how ingrained this family is, somebody new comes on. I showed Cole here the 2025 Royal Rumble
Mm-hmm.
like some months ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that guy's The Rock's cousin. These guys are The Rock's cousin.
Yeah.
This guy is related to The Rock.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's just this expansive, they've brought more of them in. Solo Sikoa is the brother of the Usos. Talatonga is 7 foot, 300-pound, huge man who's one of them, who's cousin somehow. The family's so large that
Is he the one that kind of looks a lot like Maui from
He
Moana?
does. Yeah, he does. He's got big curly hair, and everything.
He's
It's-
built
it's
like a fucking
huge.
brick shit house.
He really is. He's a big dude, man. He is big and powerful. And there's so many of them. It comes to a point where you really can't figure out how they're all related. The branches are just all over the place. But
Super cool.
they've been,
Like at
very
this point,
lin-
WWE is like nearly a family business.
yeah. And then there's Roman Reigns. And I mentioned to you earlier, and Max rolls her eyes. He has become a mythical figure in wrestling,
He's a great
Like Hulk
wrestler.
Hogan,
He's not a good person.
like Ric Flair. When he walks out, the crowd goes nuts. He had a over 1,400-day reign, single reign as world champion for 1,400 and something
Unintended.
days. Only Hulk Hogan and Bruno Sammartino have a longer reign than him.
Yeah.
John Cena had a collective 1,500 and something days as world champion across 17 reigns. Roman Reigns got 1,400 and something in one.
That's crazy. So you just defended the title for
And
so
that only
long.
ended because he had to step back because he got his cancer diagnosis, right?
It actually started because of that.
Did it?
So he was the champion. The story of Roman Reigns is really funny. He always had everything. He's big, he's strong, he's handsome. The teeth look awesome.
Roman Reigns, for those of you who don't know, has the most blinding veneers I think ever recorded in human history.
Yeah. And then he goes to NXT, which is the farming system for WWE, and is very popular there, and does very well there. But there he's a heel. He's a bad guy.
Mm.
And then they bring him to WWE, and they bring him in as a heel with the Shield, with him, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. And he's a heel. And then they have the heel turn where Seth Rollins hits Roman Reigns with a chair. Seth turns heel. Roman Reigns is supposed to become the face. He is what Vince McMahon, who was running creative at the time, wanted for his wrestler. He wants guys who look like superheroes. And Roman Reigns looks like a superhero. And he is athletic and he puts on great matches. And so they start pushing him as a face. And all of a sudden he went from scowling Roman Reigns, I'm smiling all the time.
Mm.
And the crowd wouldn't buy it.
They
And the
also kept on
crowd-
putting him next to R-Truth, and nobody can keep a straight face next to
Yeah,
R-Truth.
our truth breaks everybody. And so for years, they tried to push Roman Reigns as a face, and the crowd would just boo him. The face, he comes out as the good guy, and he's booed all the time.
And it's like if you came out smiling all the time, Dad.
People would know it's fake, and it just didn't work.
They forced it too hard.
They forced it, and then at one point, he's the world champion, and he comes out and he tells everyone, "Okay, my name's Joe, and I have leukemia.
Whoa.
And I'm going to have to take a step back to take care of that." He puts the belt down, and, they went from booing him, and right after he said, "I have leukemia," silence.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
no one's gonna boo leukemia.
Yeah, he
That's
did that.
crazy.
He did that out in the middle of the ring.
Like at WrestleMania or something?
No,
or?
it was
No, just a regular match.
it was like a Raw or something, and then he's gone for a year.
Oh, wow.
But then when he comes back, and his manager is Paul Heyman,
The guy from ECW.
the
Mhm.
guy from ECW. He had been the manager of Steve Austin, Brock Lesnar, all these bad guys. He is always the manager of the bad guys. He is never the manager of the good guys. And to see Roman Reigns next to Paul Heyman was,
People got excited.
people got excited. All of a sudden, now he comes back and he is the heel. And he is full heel. And he spends,
We were just talking about this an hour ago.
I know. I told you he would be here.
Who?
That's Braun.
That's Braun Breaker.
Oh,
He's like my second favorite
I
wrestler.
thought he
right
was
now.
hurt.
This is the first time back in months.
Well, hell yeah, live on the podcast. Yeah.
COVID happens. He wins the title, and he spends 4 years as the world champion. And the bloodline story carries WWE through COVID when they can't have crowds. And it is
They were still doing matches?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And they put on a story for the bloodline that was epic story. He's with his cousins, the Usos. He's gaslighting them all the time. They don't want to back him up, but he forces them to back him up. They're trying. It's this cinema, this real great storytelling. All these years of this infighting between this family,
Mm-hmm.
and it was great storytelling. And then it goes all the way until, in fact, it went all the way until he lost to Roman Reigns, lost to Cody Rhodes. And then it went even beyond that, because when he lost to Cody Rhodes, he took some time off, and Solo Sikoa, his cousin, became leader of the tribe, the tribal
one tribal
chief.
chief.
And then when Roman came back, well, Solo don't want to give up tribal chief. I'm the tribal chief now. So now you've got all the cinema again in the family, which makes it higher stakes. And, the fight to be the tribal chief, which was, again, awesome cinema, which ended at a thing called War Games. I think we watched War Games together.
I think that was my first time over.
Yeah,
probably.
where they had the big cage, the two rings, the big cage around them, and then one person goes in at a time.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
That was my first time ever watching WWE at all. I was just like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
Yeah.
You were like, this is the worst thing to jump in on because it doesn't make sense. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
perfect.
And it was a long story. It was 5 years worth of story
Paying off.
to get to that last payoff.
Right.
It was like getting started in Marvel, and you're starting with Infinity War or
Right.
Yeah.
Endgame.
Yeah.
You're starting
That
with-
would be so confusing.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I really think wrestling is
He's
very.
back. He's back.
Damn, he's running quick.
He's running
Oh,
hard.
Damn.
He can move too.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
He's like my second
Who
favorite
did he
like dude
spike? Who
wrestler.
is that guy?
That's
Seth Rollins.
Seth
That's-
Rollins.
He's the best wrestler in the world
Man,
right
that
now.
spray tan is atrocious.
Did he just kiss him on the forehead?
He did.
Thought he
Oh,
just
yeah.
spat on
He
him.
gave him some tongue. That's what you do in wrestling.
That's what I would do.
Everyone does, yeah.
Put me in the
He's
ring.
moving. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
no, that dude's fast as fuck.
That's crazy.
Not the roid back. Oh no.
Yeah. You're
So-
like, he's not on gear. Like, okay,
yeah.
buddy.
The bloodline storyline it's long, and that family has been in wrestling a long
there's
time.
Paul, by the way, up there on the top of the stage in the suit.
And he is now the manager of Braun Breaker.
Because he's the
He-
bad guy manager.
He is. He hitches
Braun's
his.
never really been a good guy, but he
He's never
wasn't really
been-
a bad guy until Paul came in.
Never been a good guy.
Should build them up.
He's also part of a family. I watched his dad and his uncle wrestle in the 80s and the 90s. The Steiner brothers, Rick Steiner and
Down
Scott Steiner.
here, or
No, they were part of WCW.
Hmm.
Scott Steiner became what everybody called him Big Papa Pump. He's a huge man. And athletic, crazy athletic. Cody, of course. Cody Rhodes is the biggest face in WWE right now. He's the son of Dusty Rhodes. Again, someone who's very influential to the wrestling that we have today.
right?
You know, he was very popular, but the WWE created a farm system, FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling, and he was there to help. Dusty Rhodes was there to help all these wrestlers become stars. Well, those wrestlers are Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre,
You know, the
Trinity-
people with the long hair.
Trinity Fatu, the Bellas, CM Punk, all those guys
That are big now.
that are big
Yeah.
now, got their start in FCW and were taught how to be wrestlers by Dusty Rhodes, by Cody's
Damn.
dad.
That's crazy.
So
That's really
See-
cool.
Yeah, well, we're getting kind of, sort of, not really, but sort of close to the end of our time. Do you want to maybe talk about some of your favorite matches that we've seen?
yeah, I mean, you know,
Because,
the
like,
Hell in a Cell with Undertaker and Mankind.
that's usually what comes to my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, we've,
you know, if
Caleb's
you don't know
seen
what
that.
Hell
We
in
showed
a
him that.
if you don't know what Hell in a Cell is, they've
It's
got
a big
the
chain link cage and they lock you in it. You can't leave until somebody's knocked out.
exactly. But to be more specific, it's a chain link fence on top of another chain link fence, so it's 16 feet high. Each one's, and then there's a chain link fence that they built
Ceiling, roof.
across a ceiling too,
Like I
right?
said, a chain link box.
And in this particular match, Mick Foley, the Mankind, decided they needed to start on top.
That's crazy.
And two, 250-pound men on top of a weak
Right.
chain link cube.
Undertaker is all of 300 pounds, 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. Mankind's 300 pounds. They're going to start on top. And you can see when they're walking around on top, the things that are holding the cage are snapping. And
Right.
It's coming through and everything.
It's held together by like zip ties
Oh,
and
yeah.
prayers.
Within the first 2 minutes, Undertaker has thrown him off the top.
Right.
Onto a table.
16 feet down onto a table. And people say, oh, wrestling's fake.
Mm,
You can't fake
Yeah,
that.
you can't fake that, dude.
and Mankind is down for a good,
Yeah.
3 to 5 minutes.
They
They're
weren't
trying
the
to get him
announcer
back
being like,
up.
he's dead.
They thought,
He's
well,
dead.
Undertaker
Oh, yeah.
thought he was dead. In
Yeah.
fact,
They've
Mankind was
done
trying
interviews
to,
about it.
yeah, Mankind was trying to talk him into throwing him off the top up until the day of. And Undertaker was telling him no. He's like, no, you'll die. I'm not killing you. We'll do all kinds of stuff, but
And
I'm
then-
not killing you.
And then he did it, and he's down for that long.
And he
he's
said,
standing
he's
there.
up there looking down, and he's,
He's
like,
like,
please,
"Oh, dude."
please, Jack, move.
Like,
Did I
get up,
just
get
kill
up,
this
get
guy?
up,
Kill this
get up.
guy. Please get up.
That's horrible.
Then he comes, they start taking him
also-
out in a stretcher.
Yeah.
He gets up off the stretcher, climbs back up,
To go buy some more.
and then he,
We haven't
climbs
shown
back up to the
Oldest
top.
match.
And then Undertaker flips him where he lands onto the top, which gives way,
And that's when he power bombed him.
power bombed through, and then he lands
Onto
on the mat.
ring, and then a chair smacks him in the forehead, and that's when he got the concussion
There
that
was
wiped
a-
his memory for the rest of the night.
There was a metal chair lying on the top. And he
And it
hit
fell
here,
through.
and it
Like,
fell along with
Perfectly
him
on the brow.
That's awesome.
and hit him in the face. It knocked out one of his teeth,
Knocked
It-
out 2 of his teeth.
knocked out some of his teeth. They ended up in his beard,
Yeah, you can see it in his
He's
mustache
got
and his
blood
beard. It's ooh.
coming out. He lacerated his spleen.
Jesus, man.
He separated his shoulder. He's got a massive concussion. And and he keeps wrestling. He keeps going, and he wants to get to where they pull out the tacks. And
Dude's
he
an
pulled
animal.
out like
Like top,
a pillowcase full of metal thumbtacks.
like the points look to be at least half an inch, if not
Oh,
an
they were
inch
just
long.
regular metal thumbtacks, a big
The push pins.
Still not
The
fun
push
to
pins.
land on.
Yeah.
and metal, and they did a close up on him. You can see
He gets thrown onto them twice.
he gets thrown onto them twice.
Dad, you remember the number? How many push pins did Mick say that they had to pull out of him?
I don't remember the number.
You literally have told me the number 8 million times.
Okay, I don't remember the number because I'm old.
Wow, you
Ooh,
don't remember the number either,
old. My
Max?
name is Dad, and I have
Wow,
sand
you're not
in my
listening
vagina.
to your dad,
I
dude?
do.
That's crazy, bro.
So much. And so, they
Hold
finished the
on.
match, and Mick Foley actually looks at the doctor as the doctor has got a pair of pliers, and he pulls the pin out of his arm, and,
Oh.
and he says, "Did I use the tacks?" And the doctor is holding a tack in his pliers, and he's like, "Yes, Jack, you used the tacks."
How many fingers am I holding up?
Um,
Dude,
You know-
he was gone, bro.
But the impetus of that was the Hell in a Cell before, which is
Mhm.
also one of my favorite matches. The very first Hell in a Cell, which was conceived by Shawn Michaels. I
Ew.
mentioned his name earlier. It was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And they come up with this Hell in a Cell. And
They did what in a cell?
Hell in a Cell, I don't know
Oh.
what you guys are thinking.
You said conceived, and we were
Oh.
giggling like schoolgirls because it's funny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
My bad.
And it was a great match because Shawn Michaels is in it, and Shawn Michaels is a great wrestler.
Mm.
He's up at the top. He's pulled off the side of it through the table. The character Kane shows up. Undertaker's brother shows up and tombstones him at the end. It's a great match, and so this is the follow-up match. And so Mick Foley is looking at this and he's going, "Well, I'm not as good as Shawn Michaels. How am I going to do this? How am I going to put on
Not
a
to
better
mention
match?"
they had the character
ECW
reveal for Kane in the very
Up
first
one
match.
upping each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so how
So
do
it
I?
all ties back.
And so he's got a mentor and a friend, and he's like, "I don't know how I'm ever going to do this." And his friend kind of looks at him jokingly and says, "You should start on the top." And then they all stop the smiling.
That's insane, bro.
Wait
And
a
it's
Rest
going
is
on
history.
since. Shawn Michaels, maybe my favorite wrestler ever.
Really?
Yeah, he
Really would
put
have thought
on.
it was Undertaker.
Man, it's tough because Undertaker's great. Undertaker is great, but Shawn does so much stuff. He is so athletic. He is
He's in-
so great.
Have you seen him lately?
He helped. He basically put Hell in a Cell on the map. He put on one of the greatest ladder matches ever.
Like he was
But
was really athletic. He had a very good face, but also he was not willing to get his hands dirty or
Oh.
take a fucking beating.
No, he took a hell of a beating. Dude, at that Hell in a Cell, he is covered in
No,
blood.
yeah.
He
He had amazing hair.
did. They had ladder matches for years, but the ladder was always just there to climb up and get the belt off the chain. Him and Razor Ramon are the first ones that actually started using the ladder as a weapon. They jumping off of it, jumping over it, holding it down, ramming it on each other, all that stuff. It became a weapon. And now, of course, the ladder matches are like what you saw with
Nuts.
Cody and Kevin.
The guy who broke his neck. Yeah.
They broke his neck in it.
God.
That was
That was-
fucked up.
That was
dude.
really nerve wracking to watch
Yeah.
live.
When he
There's
put his
some of
like
the-
neck in the table and
Yeah.
just jumped on him, I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa!"
When he pulled him off the third rope and he landed onto the bridge on his
Mhm.
back and all
Uh-huh,
that stuff,
uh-huh.
It's
Like,
especially for
all of
me
her-
having back surgery, I see
Same,
that and I'm just
same.
like,
Oof.
man,
Dude, yeah, it hurts.
It's just become this thing. Shawn Michaels had some of the greatest matches. They called him the showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania.
We
In
can-
fact, people consider his match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25 the greatest wrestling match ever put on.
It's a fantastic match.
It is.
It's a wonderful
I'll have to watch
match.
that with y'all sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. Just a great wrestler.
Another honorable mention for a really good wrestling match is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre's Hell in a Cell.
That one
That's
is
the one that
was that the toolbox
that's
one?
the toolbox one, and
That's
that
the
one's
one
so
that
great,
got Mom into wrestling.
and it goes on for so long.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
it was
long-ass
45
match.
minutes of them,
Damn.
and it gets to the point where you're just hoping, and at some point it's going to end.
I'm wondering
But
if it
not
carried
because
on
it's-
that long because they don't really like each other that much in real life.
Maybe.
Neither of them wanted to tap out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they don't like each other in real life, but they put on fantastic matches together.
CM Punk has not
They have
made a
good
lot
chemistry.
of friends.
They have great chemistry, whether they like each other
I
or
remember
not.
I watched
Would you say
CM
they've
Punk
got a heated
fight
rivalry?
Drew McIntyre, but I think it was in the Royal Rumble or the one where there's like 4 of them and they let them all in at once or something.
That's
the cage thing.
Elimination Chamber, yeah.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I remember
Another
they did
great-
that with the girls and the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
And
great.
like CM Punk like power bombed Hulk Hogan or not Logan Paul or something.
Yeah. You know,
was
toward
crazy.
the end of the year at WWE is when they start doing the gimmick stuff. And that's the Royal Rumble, Elimination
Mhm.
Chamber,
Yeah.
Hell in a Cells, and those War Games,
War games.
all the gimmick ones. And those are fantastic. You know, it's total chaos, you know, and it's great.
Like tomorrow's match with the like 7-person ladder match.
Tomorrow, yep, there's
That's
going to
gonna
be
be
a championship
crazy, bro.
match. It's a ladder match with 7 people, and there 7 or 6 of them at least are flyers, and there's one big dude, and it's going to be, I know it's going to be insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing everything
Yeah.
about.
No, I appreciate
all
it. I
this and,
appreciate
We
like-
could
being
totally
invited.
do a part 2 to this because there's so much.
Yeah, if people
more
want to
I
hear
feel
more
like we
about
can
wrestling.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling's as popular as it's ever been.
Yeah.
You know,
I never realized how like intricate it was. I never
Oh
knew
my
there was so
God.
much like regional lore behind it. So that's really cool. Thank you for sharing,
Yeah.
man. I think
like I
that's
said,
pretty
it's as
much all.
popular
we-
as it's ever been. WWE
yeah.
made like 1.3 billion
Jesus,
in profit
man.
last year.
That's
so
yeah, because they're like with Netflix and shit now
yeah,
too.
they're-
Right?
so
Yeah.
they're doing okay.
Yeah, that's fucking good, man. Well, I think that's all we got. Do you
Yeah.
have a final message for the people at home?
Yeah, Dad.
You know, stay away from me.
Okay, hell yeah.
All right, chat. Well, we love you so much, and we will
See you next Tuesday. That was so good. Did I do good? Just keep petting the bunny. We're gonna go to a real big farm, Max.
Did he
We're gonna go on a real big farm, and there's gonna be big old trees
hit his head?
and a pond and a nice horse.